Do you have nothing to live for? Have you always wanted death by ghost engraved on your tombstone? Check out Phasmophobia, where you and your friends delve into houses, high schools, and insane asylums haunted by murderous ghosts. You can use high-tech gadgets, sacrifice your friends, and you might even get a love letter. In this game, you and your pals get called to a house and need to identify a killer ghost using technology, books, and glow sticks. Using your handy-dandy ghost hunting notebook, you can narrow down which ghost it is and get the hell out of there. It's currently being made by Kinetic Games, a one-person developer, and damn is this guy doing a good job on it. It's available on both PC and VR, and it goes for about $14 on Steam. This game offers an experience like I've never had before in gaming, horror with friends, and it's fun as hell. But the question is it worth playing? I'll start by giving a rundown of how a typical game goes. You start the game off by hopping into a lobby with your friends or strangers, or even solo if you've got a death wish, and you choose the map you want to play on, with different choices offering bigger map size or difficulty. You shoot some hoops, stack some cans, and buy some ghost hunting gadgets and put them on your truck. Then you ready up and set off for the hunt. You spawn in a little truck with all the items that you and your group decided to bring. There's a whiteboard with a bit of information about the ghosts, including its name and whether it prefers murder solo or in groups, as well as some bonus objectives where you can earn more cash. You pick up the house key and any items you need, and you head into the house. Your first objective is to find which room Ghosty likes best, and that's where one of the coolest mechanics of this game comes in, actually talking to the ghost. Asking questions or saying the ghost's name actually gets you a response, letting it bait it into giving you clues as to where it might be. As you go through the house hollering the ghost's name, you might start to notice doors opening, objects being tossed, or your ghost hunting gadgets starting to go off, and then you know you're near Ghosty's favorite hangout spot. After finding the room where the ghost is most active, you'll need to set up various tools to either gather evidence or complete the bonus objectives. This could include dropping the book and inviting the ghost to doodle, sweet talking through a crackly radio, or setting up a camera and waiting for it to show you its moves. As you gather evidence, you can put it into your handy dandy ghost hunting notebook. Each piece of evidence you gather will narrow down which ghost it could possibly be. As you narrow down the options, you can also find tidbits of information about the potential ghosts, including strengths and weaknesses. Spending time with old Ghosty takes its toll on your mind, draining your sanity. And when your sanity falls enough, Ghosty comes out to play. And by play, I mean murder. You can either hide, slow motion run away, or die. When you die though, you can no longer communicate with your teammates, and you lose all the items you brought, which sucks. On the plus side, you get to chill with Ghosty and watch your teammates try not to join you in the afterlife. If you end up surviving and you find all the evidence you need, you pick the ghost in your journal and drive into the sunset to collect your measly earnings. You'd think that putting your life on the line would earn you a bit more than $30. Should have gone to Ghost Hunter College. This game has some really cool mechanics. Like I said earlier, the way this game uses voice and sound to interact with the environment is super innovative and unique. That being said, this game almost requires you to have a microphone and be willing to use it in order to be successful. Whether it be talking to the ghost or communicating with your partners, communication is crucial to the success of the hunt. The way communication works is actually very well done. You can talk normally, meaning only people and ghosts around you can hear, or you can talk through a walkie-talkie, where you can talk to your teammates near or far. The voice comms feel real and intuitive, and something about that little walkie-talkie sound makes it so much better. And as always, hanging out with people online can be interesting. It's great when you find a team that communicates and gets stuff done, with each person having their part to play. The online matchmaking also adds that element of replayability. Each level you play is different, and so is each team. And to add to that, the online matchmaking is super easy to do. It's basically just finding a room with a spot in it and hopping in. When you win, you level up and earn money. Leveling up unlocks new gadgets you can buy, as well as the option to take harder contracts. These harder difficulties remove safety at the very beginning of a match, makes it harder to gather evidence, and makes the ghost more angsty. The good thing though is that you get a fat stack of cash for doing it. It's a much more intense experience, and a bit of extra money is always nice, even if you had to sacrifice a friend or two to get it. Sanity also has a big role to play in this game. As you spend time alone or near Ghosty, your sanity will slowly deteriorate. As your group sanity gets lower, the ghost will start attacking you more and more often, targeting lower sanity individuals more. You can take pills to negate the effects, or you could just go back to the safety of the van and play support for your teammates. And that brings me to the van. Having a person to stay and run the van is a very important part of the game, from determining where sound and movement are coming from on a map, to relaying ghost activity, to watching the cameras and warning your teammates. It's also a great option for people who want to play but might be a bit scared to actually delve into the haunt. This game uses sound heavily to nail the spooky vibes. Immediately as you enter the house, you get this sound in your ears, which I can only describe as loud silence. This really sets the tone for the whole hunt. Eventually, as the ghost becomes more active, you start to hear indications that you're not alone. And when you're really not alone and Ghosty's coming for you, the sound design for this game is seriously well done and sets the stage for major spooks. At first, I thought I was gonna chicken out and not do a section on VR. Turns out, I was right. Though I did end up trying this game in VR, I could only bring myself to do the tutorial, and even that freaked me out. The controls make sense for the most part, and the movement feels clean and natural. Also worth noting, I have a tendency to get nauseous while playing games with free movement in VR, but this game was perfectly fine for me. It felt a lot like the movement in Half-Life Alyx. Just by taking the tutorial in VR, I can tell it's way scarier than the Pancake game. And that's not to say Pancake isn't scary, so I'll keep my distance. Now we're gonna talk about some of the issues I found in the game. This section comes with a caveat though. The game is still in early access and the dev is actively working with the community to solve their gripes, but here are some of my main issues at this point in time. This game gives you a lot at once, and it's honestly hard to follow at first. I tried taking the tutorial and left feeling more confused than when I came in. It does a decent job of showing you what to do, but not how to do it as far as controls go. It took some friends walking me through it in order to get grips on how the game actually worked. Oh my god, run! Seriously, I get that it adds some pressure moving a bit slow in a game like this, but why even have a sprint mechanic if you only move a tiny amount faster? The movement gets excruciatingly slow, especially in large maps like the Asylum. Honestly, I think it would take away from the game if you could actually sprint, but moving fast enough where you can actually tell you're moving faster would be nice. Overall, for a game this early in release, this game doesn't have very many bugs, and it's great to see when a dev listens to the community and stomps out bugs quickly, which this one seems to do. So, is Phasmophobia worth $14? Absolutely. This game is a goddamn treat to play, whether you're with friends or playing solo. It scratches the spooky itch, but also lets you do it with friends, which is something I've never seen before. Even after playing for a while, the fear and excitement of the game keeps me coming back to it. It's replayable as hell already, and it seems there's a lot more to come. Even if you don't like being scared, you can find your place in this game. It's incredibly well made, and I honestly feel like it's worth a lot more than what you'd pay. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button, and if you're interested in discovering more cool indie games with me, subscribe to the channel. I'll keep the videos coming.